Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's time for Three Things We Learned. Celtic 3, Ross County 0. A win as we return back to club football. It's just good to be talking about it all again. And 3 points, that's ultimately what we wanted, what we expected. And we move on as we get ready for Thursday night. Let's talk about the game. Before we go any further with the video, please make sure to check out the top line of the description if you want to catch up with anything from today's game in terms of stats, who played well, who didn't play well, and you want to check the rest of the league as well, or any league, check out the OneFootball app. Top line in the description, the best app out there for keeping up with the world of football, and if you're using my link, you're helping me and the channel sponsors out, so make sure to check that. Also, very quickly, so close once more to 30,000 subscribers. Please, if you haven't already, press that big red subscribe button in the box below you. It helps me so much, and it's 30,000. We're nearly there. What a landmark. Thank you all so much. So Celtic 3, Ross County 0, a performance that you know was good enough. It got us over the line, it got us 3 points. I think a tale of two halves once again for Celtic. First half, the signs were there, the traditional signs of a post-international break. We were a bit slower, we looked a little bit sort of groggier, we weren't as sharp, we weren't as fast, but it's those sort of things you come to expect after international breaks, especially when a lot of your players are playing a lot of international football. You look at somebody like Callum McGregor, for example, who just took part in 190 minutes of football or whatever, and you know there's players all over the pitch that have been playing international football, and also there's guys on the pitch who've never played for Celtic before. You've got to remember there's a gelling in system as well at the moment at Celtic, the likes of Jota and Cameron Carter-Vickers, it was and Juranovic to an extent as well, being on the right hand side. It was the first time they really got to play in this new Ange Postecoglou system and with their new teammates at Celtic Football Club. So it really was a bit of an experimental game to an extent. So I wasn't expecting the first half to be as sort of free scoring as the last few games and as electric as the last few games. I did predict a 4-0 nonetheless, nearly there with the 3, but it wasn't much of a surprise that we struggled a bit more in the first half. We had to sharpen up for the second. In fact, there was a lot of times in the first half for me where I thought that Celtic were showing signs of a side who didn't want to score today, and they were showing signs of a team who were a mistake away from letting Ross County open the game up and ask us questions. And Ross County did ask questions a couple of times in the first half. I thought there was a couple of times they got in behind us and they sent crosses into the box, and I was thinking, well, you know, if a more competent player in that side, it's gone in the back of the net a lot of the times. But we managed to keep them out. We managed to take it 0-0 into the half-time break. But there had to be change, and there had to be a sort of more enthusiastic Celtic in the second half, and I certainly think we got that. I think we did get a more enthusiastic Celtic, and a Celtic side that did look as though they could score goals. It took 5 or 10 minutes to get going, but we got there, and by hook or by crook with that first goal, we get the lead, and that really changed the tone of the game. That is what we needed, and I think if we got that earlier on in the game, we would have changed the game a lot earlier on, but we just needed that. We needed that release. We needed that little kick up the backside and that bit of excitement in the crowd. And we got that through Carter-Vickers' goal. A great debut for him. His overall performance was great. First goal. From where I was sitting, I've not got to watch it back yet, from where I was sitting, it looked like the weirdest goal in the world. I think it takes a deflection or something, but it goes in the back of the net, and that's what really did change the game for Celtic. It opened it up, and I think Ross County, for as much instilling, I've got to give credit to Ross County where it's due, because I think both in the first and second half, Ross County, yeah, they defended, and they defended well at times. They still took the game to Celtic a little bit. They opened up. They were trying to be creative, and they certainly got their chances. They certainly could have had 1 or 2 goals, I think, if they were there on another day. But, you know, we got our first goal, and that just opened it up for Celtic. And then that's when I expected the floodgates to maybe open, and we got that goal from Ajeti, 2-0, puts the game to bed sort of thing, takes all nerves away. And then the third goal towards the end of the game just finished it all off. And it was great to see Albion Ajeti get that double. It's great to see him chip in with a couple of goals. It'll do a barrow load for his confidence. It puts 3 points on the board for us. Overall, you know, when we talked about him having to step up today, because we had no Yakimakis, we had no Kyogo, we knew that Ajeti was going to have to give us something big. And for a long time in the game, it looked as though he didn't want to give us something big, and I was getting concerned. I was getting overly concerned, I would say, but he calmed me right down when he got those 2 goals and he gets in the score sheet. And if he can keep supplying that when we need it, he will be a player we can rely on over the course of a full season. Now, he seems to be that more of a sort of poacher and likes the ball coming directly to him rather than Kyogo, who would make the wee runs, because I think I noticed one thing today is if we had Kyogo in the park, I think we could have scored earlier. There was a lot of times where balls came in and Ajeti didn't quite do the move and the Kyogo would. I think we're tailoring ourselves to be a side that wants to play for Kyogo, whereas Ajeti is a different type of player. If we had Kyogo today, we could have scored earlier. But that was the only thing that was annoying me about Ajeti early on, but he gets the 2 goals, and I can't complain after that. 3-0 up, you're flying, you're going home with the 3 points. Joe Hart makes a magnificent save as well. I thought we looked comfortable. There was a couple of moments still, I think there's, and it'll be that back line getting used to each other. Look, this is the first ever time that these guys have played together. Juranovic, Starfelt, Carter Vickers, it's very, very new. We can't expect them to be world beaters in the first game. There was a couple of kind of ropey moments, but for those couple of ropey moments, I thought there was moments where they looked assured as well. There was moments where they dealt with good pressure, and I was really, really happy with what I seen over the course of the second half, and a 3-0 win, who am I to complain? Felt like I went through that so quickly and so fast. I'm in such a rush today to get things done. So I'm having to go quite quick today. So let's get on to the 3 things we learned, which I think has been particularly difficult today to pick out 3 individual things. Because it was a kind of average sort of what you expect game at Celtic Park. There wasn't anything that was too out there, it was too atrocious or whatever. I think it was pretty standard of a Celtic Park performance, the ones that you tend to get against the likes of Ross County on a home game. But we'll go anyway. The first thing that I want to ask is, why have we not signed a left back? Why did we completely neglect that entire situation? Let me just say, because I've not mentioned it so far in this video, I thought Montgomery was really good when he came on, and no problems with him whatsoever. I didn't put a foot wrong, and he's someone who I think is going to have a big future at Celtic. But if Taylor is going to have a continuous situation with injuries, to put all that pressure on Montgomery this season as the only left back, because Bolingoli's not getting into this team. If he can't make the bench today, when we have the worst bench that I have probably seen in a long time, we had no attacking options, nothing. When I have the worst bench I've seen in a long time at Celtic, and Bolingoli can't even make that bench, he's clearly not getting another chance at Celtic Football Club. It seems to be over for Bolingoli. To put the pressure on Montgomery as our only option, and he's not even been brought up as a left back. He wasn't a left back in his youth days. He's been transformed into a left back now. To put that pressure on him, to the expectation levels of him being a starting left back, to a starting 11 standard at this age, yeah, it's a pressure that I hope he takes and I hope he thrives on, but it's really a big ask. We really should have been signing a left back. We really should have been. And that's not me saying Montgomery's not good enough. I think he will go on to be good enough. I like the look of him, and he's had a great start to his senior career at Celtic. But it's a big, tough ask. It really is. And we should have had someone through the door. Whether it had been someone a bit younger, whether it had been an experienced player, we just need someone in that area, I feel. Somebody better than Taylor, first of all. I feel like we could have improved on him, never mind anything else. But we certainly need more options in Montgomery now. We've got to rely. What if Taylor's out? Yeah, you're relying on Montgomery to play well, but you're also relying on Montgomery not to get hurt. So, you're opening it, and I know we've brought in Scales and he can play there as well, but once again, you're shoehorning people in. I really wish we went and signed another genuine left back, like an all-out full-back. But it's an area we've neglected, and we'll have to deal with that. Second thing we learned, I want to talk about Ajeti a little bit more. I've already touched on the fact I think he can be a reliable player. Today I said in my preview, and I said on Twitter, that I thought today was now or never for Ajeti. And for a long time in the game I thought, oh God, it's never. it's never for Ajeti. But he stood up. And it showed great persistence of him, I think. He kept going, and look, there was no option to bring it on. He had to play the 90 minutes. There was no other option. So maybe on another day, maybe he was lucky he hadn't been hooked earlier on in the game. But, he certainly has that quality. And he's shown that. I know the second one's a bit more of a tap-in. But, he's a player who can offer something for Celtic. Him, Giannis, I keep saying Giannis. I keep done this in the preview. Georgios Giacomakis. I keep thinking of Antetokounmpo. Him and Giacomakis and Kyogo are 3 great options, I think, for us now. Granted, we've not seen Georgios play, but I think that he can be an option for us and give us something different a game when we need it. He's got that aerial presence, I feel, which hopefully Georgios has as well. He has that technical ability when he's confident. It's all about getting confidence. What I've learned today is this game and this period of time with Kyogo being out is going to help his confidence a lot. If he can chip in with goals, whether it be against Ross County or whether it be against Real Betis, if he can chip in with goals, his confidence will go. it'll skyrocket. So hopefully he keeps doing it. Hopefully he keeps bagging them in. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of Albion Ajeti, because ultimately he's a player who I backed from the very start. You'll know fine well if you've been watching me that long. I was rooting for the signing of Ajeti for weeks before he signed. I've been rooting for him since he joined the club. I was buzzing when he got off to that thrilling start. It just hasn't went his way, and he has kind of landed himself in a position where a lot of people don't want to believe in him. I'm hoping that this is now the kind of springboard to people believing in him. Shame I can't think of a third thing. Do you know what? For my third thing, I'm just going to round up on the team's performance. I thought it was a couple of players who were poorer than their usual standards today. The likes of Turnbull, didn't think he looked too great. Rogic was quiet. Abada looked good again. I suppose the third thing you can learn is those kind of saves that Joe Hart makes. That's what we need. We needed that. We did. And I was very critical of the signing of Joe Hart. And I'll say this so many times this season in 3 things we've learned. They are saves we didn't get made last season, and they do make a difference. I know we're 2-0 up, I think, at the time when he makes that save, maybe even 3-0 up. But, they're the kind of saves that, they go in at a certain point in the game, they change the landscape of the game. So those saves, they're vital, they're big, they're massive. And, fair play to him, he's overcame a lot to get here. He's been struggling to be a first-team keeper for a long, long time now. And he's fitting into the role like a glove. I think he took the armband today as well, a leader. Yeah. Cheers, Joe. And that'll do it. That's it for me today. 3 things we've learned. We'll be back with the podcast hopefully either tomorrow or Monday. And we can round up everything that we've missed, because that big story about Don Mackay, we haven't touched that on the channel yet. So we'll be talking about that in great depth tomorrow on the pod. But yeah, Thursday, Europa League coming up. We'll be back in with the content for that. Hopefully some other things crop up as well. Second channel, hopefully I've got some Champions League content and Europa League content up for that. So yeah, take care.